For the Nebraska Corn Board's 35 years of their internship program, I thought it'd be great to go ahead and highlight the current interns as well as a mix of past interns from the Nebraska Corn Board and their partners. So today I'm joined by Kaitlin, who's here to share about her intern experience. So, Kaitlin, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your background and also your connection to agriculture.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Kaitlin Meyergard. I grew up in West Point, Nebraska on a small farm with my parents and four siblings. We raised a variety of animals from cattle to chickens to sheep, all the things. Was very involved in 4-H and FFA growing up, so 4-H in my younger years. And then when my family moved to Austin, Minnesota, we moved to town and kind of lost that direct connection to agriculture. So FFA was a great resource and outlet for me to stay connected with the industry and continue advocating for what I was passionate about and just advocating for farmers that didn't necessarily have that voice themselves, or younger students in high school that didn't know how to connect to agriculture and bridge the gap between consumer and producer. So in FFA, I was the region FFA president in Minnesota. So it was Region 8. I oversaw 31 FFA chapters and just really loved my time there. And so that's where I found this love for communications and decided to major in communications and leadership with a minor in business at Wayne State College in Wayne, Nebraska.
That's awesome. So, could you tell us a little bit about the communications path at Wayne and how that got you interested in what you're doing now?
Yeah, so I actually started in electronic media thinking that I was going to be a news anchor and advocate for agriculture that way, and that just wasn't necessarily my path at Wayne State College. So then I found the agricultural communications and leadership major and really just fell in love with the content that I was learning about and found the Nebraska Corn Board internship, which led me to St. Louis. And I've just really loved learning these tangible skills with agricultural communications and what it actually looks like to advocate for a farmer at the national level.
That's great. That's a perfect segue into what are you doing this summer in St. Louis and what are some of the projects that you get to work on?
Yes, so I am the Communications and Investor Relations intern here at the St. Louis location for the National Corn Growers Association. So that means I come into the office here every day in Chesterfield, Missouri. So the commute is about 40 minutes, depending on traffic, which is definitely something I've had to adjust to, being from small towns in Nebraska and Minnesota. And some of the projects I'm working on include advocating for the National Corn Yield Contest here at NCGA. We started a pilot class a couple years ago, which focuses on nitrogen application and management, and that has just become a full-fledged class this summer. And I've learned how to promote the Class J nitrogen management class and what it looks like to find our target audience and really push materials out to them. So that's one of the big projects I've been working on. I've also been doing several interviews with our research ambassadors in our research ambassadors program, and several of those are PhD students that are pursuing degrees in so many different areas, genetics, plant biology, all of the things. And so just really smart individuals, and getting to interview them and hear about their experiences with science and also farmers. A lot of them have had the opportunities to go to Commodity Classic and several action team meetings here with the National Corn Growers Association. So I've loved interviewing them, as well as industry professionals that have submitted applications for our Consider Corn Challenge, which is an innovation and biotechnology challenge that NCGA supports to kind of see what research and new uses are happening out in the industry to help our U.S. corn farmers.
That's great. And I know that in one of our previous conversations, you mentioned that you get to be out of the office next week. And so, what are some of those fun projects or things that you're looking forward to as you wrap up your time this summer?
Yeah, so I will be attending Corn Congress in Washington, D.C. next week. Now, a lot of my time at Corn Congress will look like doing Capitol Hill visits, as well as sitting in on action team meetings, which is something I've had the opportunity to do throughout the whole summer. here and just learning from the action teams about everything that they're doing, from communication and education to research and new uses to sustainability, ethanol and biofuels. There's so many different things that I've been learning. Some of the highlights have been I got to do a one pager on E15, and that was super interesting just to learn about the fuel that our US corn farmers are producing with ethanol and how that is going to be applied hopefully in policy to make year-round E15 possible. So we're still working on that up in Washington, D.C., getting to work with our partners and our coworkers that are working up on the Hill. So super excited about that. And another opportunity I've had outside of the office was the Women in Mentors Conference in Chicago.
Oh, cool.
And that was super awesome because I got to do a lot of the background work to help that conference come to life. And that was an opportunity for women mentors alike and our male allies to come together and learn from each other about where we're going in the industry and what we'd like to see women's roles look like in the agricultural industry. So that was super awesome. And I got to do a lot of the social media and graphics, behind the scenes interviews at Women in Mentors to promote our role in agriculture.
That is absolutely amazing, and definitely a lot of great opportunities and a variety of opportunities. So, as a intern now in this role, what advice do you have for students that might be looking for internships or looking to take some of the opportunities that the Nebraska Corn Board can provide?
I would encourage future interns or students looking for internships to believe in yourself and be encouraged that you are capable of doing things that are difficult or out of your comfort zone. I never thought I would be moving to St. Louis, Missouri to step into such a cool opportunity, but it has been just such a great experience to learn and grow from individuals that are experienced in the field. And I could not imagine not having this experience before going into the workforce. So, yeah, I would just encourage students to believe in themselves and apply and take the risk of stepping into a new opportunity.
That's great. And you mentioned, taking this experience and stepping into the workforce. What are some of your plans moving forward, and how do you want to take this experience along with you?
Yeah, for sure. That's a great question. I think several college students ask themselves this question multiple times throughout their educational experience. And it's something I'm still navigating. Obviously, this has been my first internship with corporate communications and agricultural communications. So, definitely very valuable, but also opening up opportunities to other career paths that I could take, whether that's in other corporate communications, ministry communications. I'm not really sure what that will look like, but I would love to work with a state organization in any commodity now that I have national experience to see what that looks like at the policy level. And with all the different action teams, it would be super cool to step into a smaller organization that maybe NCGA works with, for example, Nebraska Corn Board, and step in and see what it looks like on a smaller scale. So, in short, I don't think any of us really know exactly where
Yeah,
we're going.
that's fair.
All of these pathways lead us to where eventually we will go. And I'm excited to see what that looks like.
That's great. And as we wrap up our time, is there anything else that you'd like to share about your experience?
Like I said before, it's been a great opportunity. I'm so thankful that the Nebraska Corn Board believed in me to do this job and represent their organization. So I'm just thankful for the opportunity to be here, and I'm excited to see what the next few weeks entail.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Yes, thank you.